I'd like to call to order the Clarkston Independence District Library Board of Trustee meeting for February 8th, 2016 at 5:46. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Jan Gaffney. Here. Michelle Ginn.
Here.
Dan Green.
Here.
Mary Kimberg absent. Sally Lamb.
Here.
Allison McFadden Kiesling.
Here.
Marilyn Pomeroy.
Here.
Julie Meredith here.
Okay, I'll accept a motion for approval of the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, who was second? You didn't want to pass it on to them. Draw a name on the hat. Sit this end of the table.
Which one did you pick up?
Jan.
Jan, all right. Shorter. All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The agenda has been approved. Call to the public.
I'm Janet Coffin. I'm here representing the Friends of the Library Board. Just to update you, our new officers this year, Eric Haven is the president. Marion Barron has graduated from being the library liaison to the president-elect. I'm the secretary. Jan Reimar is our treasurer again. Carol McNally is our membership chairperson. Julie Myers handling our PR, and Don Nisbet is handling the newsletter, which is going to go out early in March, so you can be expecting that. We are updating our section of the library website. Eric also has found a source to look at donated books that might be worth more money, because we get sometimes some books that we're not sure about, specifically like vintage books, classics, big art books, that kind of stuff. So he's found a source that's willing to look at those for us and see if we should be charging more money for them. And we're doing several collaborative projects with your library staff. So I want to give them a shout out. Christina is helping us with our membership form and recruiting volunteers, doing a great job of it. Melissa is helping with our PR activities. We're working with Aaron on the Teen Art Show, and with Tracy and Aaron on Battle of the Books. We've expanded this year. We're going to do along with doing the Sashbaugh Middle School Battle of the Books, we're also going to do a district-wide elementary Battle of the Books. So they're all going to do Battle of the Books in their building, and then we're going to take the top teams from the buildings and have them all get together and do a district-wide one. So we're helping with that. And we're working with Julie, or Eric is working with Julie on the Leave a Legacy program. So, any questions?
Thank you. Very succinct. All right, the call to the public is closed. We have a relatively long consent agenda tonight. Is there a motion to accept this?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we accept the consent agenda A through K. Is there any particular item anyone has a concern about?
Just a comment, because it just triggered it in my mind. The recycling bin is full. I dropped the papers off when I came in.
Thank you. I will email and get that taken care of right away.
Other than that, nothing.
All right. In that case, all those in favor of accepting the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. All right, moving on. Library statistics. Thank you, Bill, for all the library statistics.
So in your statistics packet, you do have December, because the January meeting was so close to the beginning of the year, the December statistics had not yet been compiled. And then you also have January. Remember DOW's Day of the Week. And the one that I think that you'll find interesting is the 5th page, which is the percent change from 2015. Since Bill started collecting the data in this way, we've been doing it for an entire year now, so we are now able to compare this year to last year. So you'll see that there's a percent increase or decrease potentially, a percent change in the various areas. So total visitors, total circulations, total computer users, information questions, downloads, et cetera, for January. So everything is up except for study room usage, which was down. So apparently people weren't using the study room as much as usual in January as last January. So
Okay.
Some of those are huge.
some of them are huge
increases. That's
jumps.
great, yeah.
Teen programs would be up 70% from last January. Adult programs up 47%. Wireless users up 40%. Some really big jumps in some of these.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep.
And we do appreciate having those to compare. So thank you. Now, the library director's report.
Lots of goodies on my report tonight. Under general information, on Sunday, January 10th, the library's power went out at around 1:45 p.m. Based on an estimate from DTE that the power would be restored at 4:30, the library was closed at about 2:30 for the remainder of the day. The power was restored in time for the library to open at the usual time on Monday morning. In terms of finances, the contract between the library and the township regarding the OPEB money the township is holding in the library's name was supposed to go before the township board at their January 26th meeting. However, the contract was removed from the agenda before the meeting. The library director and the accountant met with the township's clerk and finance director to discuss the situation. The township's attorney will revise the contract to reflect the proposed change and will send the revised contract to the library's attorney for review. If the revision is satisfactory, the township is proposing putting it back on their agenda for Tuesday, February 16th. Upon approval, it could go to the library board agenda on Monday, March 14th. Any questions on that one? Okay. We did receive notification from Abraham and Gaffney, the library's auditor, that the field work for the library's 2015 audit is scheduled to take place March 21st through 23rd. In terms of building and grounds, HRC is completing the RFP for Phase 2 of the library's parking lot project with the bid process to take place in February. The plan is to have the library board review the bids at the March 14th meeting. We are still on track to have the work for Phase 2 take place in spring 2016. During the discussions of the parking lot, the library board decided that the issues with the lighting in the parking lot should be addressed as a separate project. I've researched contractors that do this type of work and have approached 3 companies to look at the project. I did have a meeting with one of them last week, late in the week, and I spoke with one today that I will be meeting with most likely tomorrow. So we're starting to get some preliminary proposals of how they would solve our lighting problems. At 10:10 on January 25th, I received a call from the security alarm company about a motion sensor alert in Zone 5, which is the lobby and museum. After checking the building and finding nothing out of place, I reset the alarm for the night. At 12:30 a.m., the security alarm company contacted me again about a motion sensor in Zone 5. Since there wasn't a perimeter issue, the earlier inspection had shown nothing out of the ordinary. I put just that zone on test until action could be taken in the morning. So had there been any kind of a perimeter breach, had there been a fire or anything like that, they would have still contacted the appropriate authorities. I did contact the contractor for a service call. The technician determined it was an issue with the motion sensor in the museum, and we did replace it. So just I wanted to keep you aware that we're still having some little technical difficulties with the
Thank you for staying up all night.
with our 23-year-old system. So, on January 27th, we noticed that the youth activities room was very cold. After making some adjustments, we were able to stabilize the temperature. However, when the room continued to be cold the next day, we realized there must be an issue with the unit that heats the children's department and called our service contractor. They replaced a motor and belt on HVAC unit number 5. So that's one of the big beastie units on the road. That particular one is difficult because the children's department is a smaller unit than the big main unit that does the entire adult area. And so the youth activities room is sort of the indicator of whether or not that unit is working properly. Because the big unit will cover the children's department if need be, but the youth activities room, because we keep it closed, it got really cold, and that's how we knew that unit was down. Project updates. I'm pleased to announce that the Clarkston Independence District Library was one of the candidates selected to receive the Michigan Harwood Cohort Grant. The library director and the business and marketing librarian applied for in December. The grant will pay for 2 additional library staff members to be trained in the Harwood Institute Community Conversation Techniques in March. These techniques will be used in 2016 to learn more about the community's aspirations and develop a strategic plan for the library. So we are very excited about that. And we will be training Brad Reuter and Lawrence Marble, that training. Collaborations. I've been working with Friends President Eric Haven and the Planned Giving Roundtable of Southeast Michigan to move forward on a project to develop an endowment fund or foundation that would create an additional source of stable funding for the library in the future. The Friends are providing funding for workshops that will educate me on the options that are available so that I may be actively involved in this process. I will keep the library board informed as this project progresses.
Okay, thank you. Okay, on to regular business. Number one is a review of the state aid report from 2014.
Public libraries in Michigan are formally established under state law and must file a report with the Library of Michigan each year in order to maintain their certification. The certification verifies a library's eligibility for state aid funds, penal fine money, and governmental grants. The filing season begins in October and has an electronic filing deadline of February 1st, 2016. Within your packet, you will find the state aid report that was submitted for this year. Because the library has a different fiscal year than the state of Michigan, ours is January to December versus the state's, which is October to September, the report that was just submitted covers January 1st through December 31st of 2014. So a lot has happened since then. So I wanted you to be aware that we have submitted the report. I don't know that you're necessarily going to have questions about it. But what you will see in the little boxes, it's this year's data, and off to the side you will see what would have been 2013 data.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments on the report? All right, let's move to documents on demand. Number two.
I'll do the lead-in for you, Bill, just on what's on that, so that the public knows. We've been storing our library board meeting agendas, minutes, and packets on our own website since 2012. Bill has been looking for a simpler method of storage and found that a company that we have done business with previously, Ameriscan, has a product called Documents on Demand that many Michigan municipalities and several libraries use to store the exact things we are in an interface that is clean, easy to use, and stable. They also handle video files, and as we will no longer be receiving DVD copies of the meetings, makes it easy to host these files off-site and accessible from anywhere. The cost of the service is as follows. There's a one-time setup fee of $250, which includes import of all existing board documents, including the videos that will be placed online, and a $500 per year fee for hosting. So Bill has.
And what I've done is I've put together just a kind of a demo of what it's going to look like on the actual website. This is basically the current board, the library board page, but you'll see there's none, that whole thing that's underneath it, all of the board's minutes and things like that, will be basically replaced with a link. You'll say if you want to see the board minutes, click on this. And then, as ours is not live yet, I had to take one from another existing customer of theirs, and this happens to be from West Bloomfield Township, the system comes in here. It's got with the township. You'll see a lot of different boards. Ours will mostly be based on the year, so it'll be 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then as a person drills down into these, it comes in, your agendas, your agenda packets, your minutes, and then we'll also have a videos link here. And then each one of those you'll see, like they have it, they're just each of their boards has a section and it's divided down by year. And then each one you can see, you can go through each and every one of them. And then one of the things that Ameriscan does is they also turn every document you give them into a searchable form. So they're the ones that did our newspapers, for example, the Clarkson News. And they make them available to be searched. So there's a search box here. So if anybody had a particular search they wanted to do, how many times has the word server been used in the library board minutes, for example, you can just search server on it and it will bring up all of the documents that have that keyword in it. And then, like I said, West Bloomfield doesn't use it, but like I said, we'll be able to put links to videos for the actual board meeting videos as the TV station supplies them to me. But this is in use all over. A lot of places use this. And it's really easy. And all I have to do is just send it off to them, and it automatically starts building all of the trees in here. I don't have to code anything. I just take the file and I send it off, and it goes into the right place and renames itself, and it's all good to go. So that will make, if anybody else needs to upload files if I'm not here or whatever, it's a very, very easy to use interface.
And I can see I noticed they mentioned it in the proposal, but for Freedom of Information Act requests, because if it's online, they don't have to make copies.
Yeah, and right, you won't have to make copies, and this is a much more
Yeah, that's great.
compact method of doing it,
Yeah.
where everything is right there. They don't
Yeah,
have to,
right. Right.
they can search 2012 from right here instead of
Right.
having to go to the 2012 page and find the
Right.
the minutes for the meeting they want.
It'll be helpful for the auditor too.
Hmm?
The auditor.
The auditor was just looking for specific things that would be helpful.
Right.
too.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's great.
During an audit, right, exactly. So that's the system that,
Seems very good.
but yeah, obviously some of the places will have many, many more things in there than we, but, yeah, and like I said, they'll take all of the documents we currently have, turn them into searchable PDFs and send them up for us as part of the initial setup. And give us a page that's just like this, but our color scheme instead of theirs, and with our pictures and stuff, whatever we want to put on the top.
Okay. For only $500 a year, right?
$250 to set up.
Yeah, $250 setup fee.
I know,
And
which I
then,
think is
well,
great.
it takes a bit of work to do the imports and all the
Right.
OCR,
Yeah.
the turning and scan documents into searchable things. And that's what that's all about. And to set up the space, there's the web space for it that they have to create. Because every municipality or wherever that has this has their own space. Like you see this one's, what is it? West Bloomfield Township MI.minutesondemand.com. So we have to get one of those for us as well. So there's a bit of work on the back end that they need to do, which is why it's $250 for that.
That seems reasonable to me, really.
Great. It's nice and modest amount. All right, does anyone have any questions for Bill?
I would move that we approve that, and what was the request for budget?
There is a budget adjustment that would be needed.
Yeah.
This is not a budgeted project. This is something that we've been looking into, and we weren't sure how much it was going to be, so we didn't put it in the budget. So Bill and I talked about it, and I suggested that the $750 could be placed in 818, which is our professional and contract services line from undesignated revenue.
And I would move that we approve the purchase and make the necessary budget adjustment.
Okay, is there a second?
This one.
Was Sally our second?
Michelle. Oh, what was Sally? Okay.
It was simultaneous. Pick one.
Yes.
Okay, Sally.
Pick one.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that the proposal from Ameriscan that authorizes a budget adjustment of $750 from undesignated revenue to line item 818, which is professional and contract services, be approved. Any other comments or questions? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. That was very succinct. Now we're to,
We're going to summon him up again, so.
yes, come right back and let's talk about off-site backup. Is that the cloud?
Mm-hmm, that is part, yes.
You want me to read the description real quick?
Yes.
Sure, please.
In 2015, we began backing up some of our data to cloud-based storage to satisfy both best practices and an item in our audit. As we made our server transition in late 2015, more storage is required to take all of our backups off-site. Our backup software has a list of vendors that support our methods, and Bill went to a selection of vendors to get quotes for off-site storage. 3 vendors responded, and their proposals are included in your packet. Bill requested an extended contract so as to make the price per month the smallest possible. He recommends that we accept the proposal from Mindshift for a 36-month contract at $200 per terabyte per month for a total yearly amount of $2,400 or $7,200 over the life of the contract. They are the lowest per terabyte proposal and they have a local presence in case there's any kind of issue. And this is another one that we were studying this, but we had no idea what to budget for it until we had done more homework. So this is another non-budgeted item, so there is a budget adjustment request attached, $2,400 to professional contract services 818 from undesignated revenue. And I will let him explain the rest of it.
Yes.
When I said that there was a list, it was about 20 pages of vendors that supported our backup software. So I kind of broke it down by region, which only brought it to about 10 pages, which was nice. Then I looked for companies that I actually recognized. And Mindshift was actually one of the companies I tried to deal with some other projects before. They are also a Ricoh company. So so Ricoh, which is our copier vendor right now. But they do end-to-end everything IT that needs to be done. And not only did their per terabyte cost was the least, they also had no setup fees, no extra little fees listed in. Some of them came in and they're like, well, yes, it's going to be $240 a month, but you can also add in this $60 for this and another $30 for that. And, okay, so so what is it total? Oh, about $1,800. Okay, so they came in with a $200 a month, as long as we do not go over our existing storage, the 1 terabyte storage. We are running at about half that right now. So I don't see any need to go above that at this point. And this will also get instead of just our financials and our Polaris database stored off-site, all of our files, all of our existing files, everything that's on my servers will be backed up in-house and in the cloud. And into multiple data centers in the cloud, actually. There's, I believe, Mindshift has one in Ohio, and it replicates from Ohio to Arizona, and there's a third one somewhere else. I don't remember where the third one is.
So no matter what happens, wherever in the country, somebody should be covered, right?
Should be, that's correct.
Are there any other libraries that we know of in our area that are using, I know they're using the cloud, but...
Some of them are using, they're doing their backups. Some of the larger libraries in particular but they have ones that, especially that have like multiple buildings, they just back up from one building to another, which is a smaller area. But I have talked to a few libraries that are using cloud-based storage for different things, and they said that as long as your bandwidth, which is sufficient, it works great. I've done some testing with some of the vendors, and it takes a while to get our data off-site, but that's only the first time. Every time you do a backup now after the first one, it's just everything that was changed. So where the first backup set would be somebody's entire computer that they've had since the beginning of time, the second time it's only the 7 documents they changed. So there's a lot less transfer after the very first time.
All right. Anybody have any comments, questions?
I just have one point of information, really. What's the local presence that you mentioned?
I knew you'd ask that. They do have, I believe, in Novi. Novi is one of their local home bases around here.
Good.
All right. We rely on the expertise of our staff. While recognizing that this is an important component, you simply have to have backup elsewhere.
Backup is one of the most important things you can have. And you can't have too much of it, to be honest.
Right.
Well, I move to approve the proposal from Mindshift and authorize the budget adjustment of $2,400 from undesignated revenue to line 818, professional and contract services.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the proposal from Mindshift and that we authorize a budget adjustment of $2,400 from undesignated revenue to line item 818. If there are no comments or questions, we'll move the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. And the paperwork is very helpful, too. All right, that completes our regular business for tonight. And so at this time, I will accept a motion for adjournment.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn at 6:12. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved. Thank you very much.